where's my kit list? You know, I'm just going to rhyme off some things that I have. I've brought them with me. I mean, basically when you go to these things, whether it's the tsunami after Japan or Haiti, it's like sort of camping in a sense, because you'll have nothing, right? So you have to think in those terms. It's like camping on steroids. So take, you know, the kind of clothes you would camp in. Take a ball cap, take fresh socks, you're going to need them. Take a bag. In Afghanistan, I had this fantastic knapsack, and then you learn they strap it to the outside of the vehicle when you're going in and it got wrecked. So take a hacked up, durable bag. Like, you got to think this way. You're not going to have anything when you're there. You got to take your own meds. You got to be yellow carded up, right? Do this now, because when the tap comes, you're not going to have time to do it. I keep Cipro, not at work but at home, because you're not going to have time to go to the travel doctor, and you'll need Cipro. You're going to need clean water. There is a great water bottle that you can get now, which you can effectively stick in a river and then drink from it cleanly. If you think you won't get sick from drinking local water, in Newtown, at our hotel, there was a water main break that we didn't know about, and myself and my cameraman got fecal coliform from brushing our teeth, ingested. And on the worst day of Newtown, after like just where everything was just going mad, JF was vomiting in the parking lot outside this place where we were shooting, leaving me to shoot. I threw up all the next morning. It happens, and that's, you know, Connecticut. So just think, like, and I keep a little bag of stuff at home so that at worst you can just grab it and run with these sort of mundane sounding necessities. When you go to these places, you think, you know, this is about disasters, not war zones, but we have these kits as well. And this is our medical kit, by the way, and it's got EpiPens. It's got things to fix, you know, those little, I don't know if you've been through any survival training, broken arm at the time. I was next, and he slipped and he fell and he broke his arm. It happens, and you got to deal with it. There are no hospitals, and well, you know, that's the hospital, right? So you take stuff to prepare. They thought at the time that there would be, let's see if this can come out, security issues. So they made us haul these fucking things. Sorry for my swearing, by the way. You haven't seen one of these? I mean, this is them, right? It's like monster size. They made us carry this, each of us, to Haiti, because they thought looting would break out or there'd be violence, and there wasn't, happily, and to the credit of Haitians. But you have to think about that. So you think, you go and you execute. I own no Apple stock, but if you, and I was a BlackBerry guy forever, but I now voice in the field SM58 Shure mic, an awesome mic. It's these ones. I didn't bring the cable, the 3-pin connector to the Mini, but in Boston 2 weeks ago, when we were putting together a mini documentary, I was in my hotel room and my editor was in his room across the hall. So I voiced into my iPhone and I emailed it to him, the whole thing. I did a piece, that shot's from San Francisco. We were in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago, shooting a doc that airs Monday on the National, 10 o'clock. I voiced it the same way. My wife is a journalist. She's a reporter at CTV, Joy Melvin, and she covered Hurricane Sandy, the disaster. And I was in Toronto at the time hosting, I think, or something, and I flipped on the TV, and there she was, reporting from the shore of New Jersey. And I called her later and I said, how did, well, there's a satellite truck? How did that get there? And she goes, no, I voiced it in the iPhone. I said, well, really? Not even with a mic, just into this. It sounded awesome. And then you email it and they've got it. I've done rants with this. I've done rants with an iPad onto News Network. The BlackBerry has a lot going for it. I miss the QWERTY, the tactile keyboard. But this has a lot going for it too.
Do you, when you voice, to put your head over it?
I absolutely do.
Towel?
Yeah, and there's a great, I don't know if you, on my Facebook page, which is open to anybody, there's a shot of me in Cuba sitting with a towel over and flip-flops on in the bathroom, looking idiotic. But yes, absolutely. In fact, you think about that as well, because that does make a difference. And even in San Francisco, I did that. One thing about this.
Can you explain why with the towel? Why it helps?
Just because it
For the echo, you mean?
It gets rid of the echo. You can hear it in this room, and you will hear it just in a small hotel room. And so you do everything you can. The batteries suck, as you know, so I'm a convert to this. This is the best one that we found, Mophie. You can also get one that fits on the back. If you run out of power, and in Newtown, and I'm going to show you a bit of tape, something that happened in Newtown. But while the thing was happening in Newtown, I was running out of power. We all were, because we were inside police lines. Same principle as disaster zones. You can't just plug into something in downtown Haiti when there is no power in the whole city. So, get one of these. This is the best piece of kit that I have. There's no power in these places. You have to see when the sun goes down. It's that, think camping. Like, it doesn't take up much space. I have all this in my drawers at work. Take one of these. You're going to sleep outdoors, and if you don't want to get up when the sun gets up, you better have one of these. I haven't got all my bits here. Get one of these. It's a memory. You know, if you have to move it, your script to somebody else's computer, like all these things you can't go to the store and get. It sounds so mundane. Get fancy ID. This is my Senate pass. If you get something colorful with a photo and it says news on it, you can get almost anywhere. People just want, it's magic. So CBC has made these sort of fancy, international correspondent cards that just open doors. So all these little things, this is the think part, right? If you think about this stuff now, when you get the tap, it just makes it all, you can pick up a bag and you can go. Take one of these, because a source of power is the vehicle you'll have. All these things are obvious, right? But get one of these and then you've got it. And then you can plug in your iPhone that is dying when you're driving to the 3 blocks away around the corner. I take, we know that the iPhone is a camera and BlackBerry is a camera. I take one of these. I'm not sure about it. You got to take what's right for you. The great thing about this is a Canon G1X. This is great, the swivel screen. It's a little too big. Again, think, right? I can't really put it in my pocket, which means one more thing to carry. It's what you're comfortable with. I like them a little bit smaller, but this isn't bad. And then you can manipulate the photos, You can email from this, which is great. This takes another step to email. So it's what you are comfortable with, but you are on the front lines and whatever, I don't know if you're print or radio or TV here, but your job is to get these things as well, so you have to have the tools to do it. And don't forget to take charges, because they'll run out of power. You can get, go to any Radio Shack and you can get the devices that will charge any size battery. They manipulate and they change, and they're worth having. And then you can stick any battery in it. So I mean, just those little things. You got to just. I brought just a sort of a variety of different things just to get. You're thinking that you have to think about this ahead of time. Where's the other thing? This is what we took to Japan. Geiger counter. Because, of course, Fukushima was happening. And we'd flown to Tokyo. And then we had to go north. We were going up to Ishinomaki, which is where on the north coast. And so we're driving through Fukushima province. And JF, my cameraman editor, said, so how does this work? He's turning on, and it's going beep, 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 as we're like driving through Fukushima. And then so he opens the window. It's like, JF, close the window. It works.
So what does it detect?
radioactivity. We also had, and I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. So I guess the point of this is you're not going to go out and buy one of these, but you better make sure that when you get sent that your bosses provide them for you. This is a dosimeter, which we wore on our belts our whole time in Japan, which this measures immediate vicinity radioactivity, and this measures cumulative. So you just kind of keep an eye on this one as you go. And this one just tells you if you're in a danger zone. We walked out, we did one story in Fukushima City, actually, at this school where the kids were being kept inside the whole time. And it was raining, and you're just thinking, you know, rain, here it comes, you know. And the principal every morning would walk out with this thing, one of these, and he was testing the radioactivity on the plane, the soccer field. And again, right as we're like getting down and closer to it, it's like, huh, interesting. So get this kit, and then you go. So then what do you do? Your job is to tell those stories. So the first thing that I do is I first of all, you would like keep your eyes peeled like on the way. I started sending blogs and things on the way to Haiti. We saw soldiers when we boarded our plane in Miami getting on board with guns. Oh, that's newsy, to go to Haiti. So think about things as you go. We blogged on the drive from from Dominican Republic into Port-au-Prince. I mean, you got to think about this, that everything is going to be interesting to people back home, so just be aware of that. Then your job is sort of, it's no different than it is here, right? Talk to people. What are they doing? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? Who can they lead you to? Ask your fixer. You know about fixers, right? We talked a bit about that yesterday. Fixers are, you know, they will lead you to stories. If you hear rumor or buzz, ask your fixer. Your fixer is gold. When you get somewhere and you see something in this day and age, call the desk. Report. Here's a look. I'm going to play a bit of video from Boston, which isn't a disaster zone, but we were inside the cordoned off area when one of the suspects was still on the loose and the other was dead. So it's Friday morning. And sort of behind us, down this road, we were standing here all morning. And down here, all the police started pulling up crazily. Like, it's like, what the? So, let's go. So this is iPhone video taken by my producer. So we just kind of go down. And what we see is police have surrounded somebody down here, and they've got their guns out like this, and all the guys crouched down. And they're like, what the? And police are, and like, the house where all the shootout was about 2 blocks up that way. That's my camera demonstration. This is all iPhone. Do you know what's going on? It's Paul Hunter. So I've called the desk.
Do you see this? Did you see this?
This is the control room I'm talking to. I'm asking, can they see this from that?
Do you see any of this?
Call the desk, break it in, like tell them you've got something. Now I'm like, hello? Everybody's just coming, there's more cops.
Back up! Back up! Whoa!
You guys, Paul, explosives. Let's go. Run. Seriously, Paul.
That's my producer. Hello? Hello? Talk to the desk.
on, guys. I mean it. He said explosives. Back him up.
I am there. That's how long it took to get on the air. As it turned out, it was a
That's pretty quick.
false alarm, but exactly. So wherever you are, remember what you're doing. You've got your job is there to report. And again, it depends if it's print or if it's radio or TV. Obviously, this is more relevant to broadcast. But get on. I mean, that was it. I ended up doing, I think, a 4 or 5 minute hit while they sorted that out, which turned out to be a kind of false alarm. We still don't quite know what was going on there because they had somebody in their sights. My cameraman said it was like he was down on the ground like that or something like that. But the point is, and when you get to the center of Port-au-Prince, report. That's what you're there to do. So don't get caught up in the moment and forget that there's 24-hour news channels waiting to hear from you. I'm just going to stick this on while I talk. These are just more stills that I took in Haiti, and it'll give you a different sense of some of the stuff that didn't make it into video.